Planet Dolan.
From acting like a vampire to throwing a baby at its mother, the Planet Dolan crew reenacts some of the best true stories from our subreddit about the craziest things our exes have ever done. I'm Melissa, and today I'll be your narrator. Number 10 was submitted by SheWhoLovesToDraw. Mimi's high school boyfriend was obsessed with getting married and having kids as soon as possible. She said that she didn't want to jump into marriage and parenthood right away, and her boyfriend agreed. However, only a month later, he proposed while they were on vacation. Mimi said,
"No, it's too soon."
So he pocketed the ring, but kept trying during the next 2 months. After yet another marriage proposal, her boyfriend invited her to dinner with him and his family. She accepted, and they went to his parents' house. While there, Mimi overheard her boyfriend tell his mom about how he could swap her birth control pills for some over-the-counter drug that women use to make contraception easier. His mom even said, "That should be enough to get her going with twins? I want my grandbabies now. She better stop being so selfish and give me grandbabies." Then her boyfriend said, "Maybe she'll get really big boobs too. I bet she'll look hot while pregnant." As soon as she heard that, Mimi left. She broke up with her boyfriend, even swearing off dating for 5 years. Number 9 was submitted by DarthPandar96. A boy Froggy dated in high school did a lot of crazy things. One time, he stole her clothes and makeup. She even caught him wearing them. Although that didn't bother her, what started bothering her was when he became controlling. She wasn't allowed to hang out with her friends and was limited to only hanging out with his group of friends. Towards the end of the relationship, Froggy discovered that he had been cheating on her with an older girl who had a kid. When Froggy broke up with him, her ex chased her through town. He kept crying and threatening to kill himself, begging her not to leave him. Shortly after, he began to stalk her and a guy friend. She would start seeing her ex standing in the street outside her house late at night, and in an alley across from her friend's apartment. The thought that she once liked him still makes Froggy cringe. Number 8 was submitted by Princess Koopa 67. Ramona was around 20 when she began to date this one guy. They were happy together, until she caught him flirting with another girl. That was when she dumped him. After dumping him, Ramona kept getting phone calls from him, always asking if they could still be friends. He stopped calling her when she agreed. One night, he told her via text that the reason why he cheated on her was because he had been seduced by a witch, and that he was already a sexual deviant because of his vampiric essence. He went on to say that they were meant to be, but Ramona told him that she had found someone else. Months later, he snuck into her apartment. He came up from behind her and bit her. She threatened to call the police if he didn't leave, and luckily he did. Years later, Ramona found out that he had to go to therapy. Number 7 was submitted by Fox's the Handsome Fox. Derek had a girlfriend who would do drugs, but he didn't, and he kept it a secret from her. He even stayed with her for a couple of years, until the craziness began. One time, he walked into the bathroom to find red marker stains everywhere. There were also knives stuck in the walls. Later that night, Derek woke up to hear breathing. When he opened his eyes, he saw his girlfriend on top of him, holding a knife. He rolled off the bed, jumped out of the window, and ran to the neighbor's house to call the police. After that, he never heard from her again. Number 6 was submitted by Raventhepitbull. When she was 18, Snoopy met a guy who she became friends with. Before she knew it, they were dating. One day, he went over to Snoopy's house to meet her parents. While he was there, she gave him a tour. She showed him her bedroom, and on her bed were some stuffed animals. After he asked about the stuffed animals, Snoopy told him about a nightmare she kept having since childhood. She explained that she would be in a strange house, and her stuffed animals would turn into monstrous versions of themselves and try to kill her. After that, her boyfriend became quite quiet and distant for about a month, then, out of nowhere, invited her to some random house. After arriving, Snoopy went to the porch where she was immediately knocked out. When she came to, she found herself in the same strange place as in her nightmare. Then she found out that she had to defend herself against the monstrous forms of her stuffed animals, which were overgrown and alive. In the morning, she went out into the living room where she saw the monstrous stuffed animals. When she asked what was going on, each of the stuffed animals took off their heads to reveal her boyfriend's friends. It turns out that her boyfriend and his friends refurbished his dad's old house to look like the place from Snoopy's dream. They also made costumes of the monstrous stuffed animals based on her descriptions. The reason they did all that was to help her no longer have the nightmare. It didn't work, and she screamed at her boyfriend before running out of the house, crying. Snoopy broke up with him via text message and blocked his number. Number 5 was submitted by Death Foxy. One day, at Sid's house, his girlfriend decided to break up with him by hitting him with a foldable chair. She then ran into a bedroom, locked the door, and jumped out of the window. Then she grabbed his baseball bat and ran back into the house where she hit Sid. She ran into the kitchen, grabbed a knife, and threw it at him. Thankfully, it missed. Sid ran out of the house, with his ex running after him with the knife. As he ran, he called the police. Since his parents lived up the road, he ran to their house. As soon as he ran inside, Sid slammed the door. His ex stabbed right through the front door, once again missing Sid. That was when she left, and Sid hasn't seen her since. Number 4 was submitted by Pumpkin Doodles. Princess Proton used to work at a cafe with her ex, which was very awkward. The craziest thing her ex ever did was when she was talking to her boss. Her boss told her that if she cleaned the tables, she would get extra pay. That sounded great to Princess Proton, so she did. While she cleaned a family's table while chatting with them, her ex came up and shoved her out of the way. Her ex wanted to get that extra pay, so he began viciously cleaning the table. He was being loud, so loud that the family's baby began to cry. Instead of calming the baby down, Princess Proton's ex picked it up and threw it at the mother. He then screamed in her face, "Get that worthless piece of shit to shut up!" It ended with Princess Proton's ex getting fired. Number 3 was submitted by Possible Panda. The craziest thing Hellbent's ex ever did was pretend to be possessed by a demon. One day, she was in her demon persona when she began to cut herself. Hellbent called 911 and had to restrain her to keep her from hurting herself any further. He tried his best, but his ex just ended up cutting him on the hand, which gave him a scar. While she didn't go to jail, she did get sent to a mental institution. Hellbent heard that she got out years later, only to be sent back. Number 2 was submitted by 4Corey. When Pringle broke up with his girlfriend, she went insane because she was desperate to have someone. At the same time, Pringle didn't know that, so he accepted his ex's invitation to spend some time with her at her house as a friend. When he arrived, he saw his ex was masturbating to porn while topless in a purple pleated skirt, which Pringle always thought was sexy. It didn't work, but he still got turned on by her antics. Number 1 was submitted by Benny Rose 12. While he lived in England, Zaragamba had a girlfriend who lived in America. She flew over one time and stayed with him and his family for a few weeks. One night, when Zaragamba was hanging out with some friends, his girlfriend pulled him aside and told him what she disliked about them in great detail. Zaragamba said that there was nothing wrong with his friends, but his girlfriend didn't listen. When one of his friends, who was a girl, arrived, she lost it. She dragged him back to his house by the ear. Once they reached his house, she proceeded to scream at him despite his mom and 3 brothers being there. She accused him of cheating on her with that girl. Every time he would say that he wasn't cheating on her, his girlfriend would kick and punch the shit out of him. When his mom walked into the room and saw Zaragamba all bruised, she quickly got his girlfriend in a headlock while he called the police. When the police arrived, his girlfriend was arrested and charged with assault. Shortly after, Zaragamba's girlfriend, who then became his ex, was sent back to America. Huge thanks for all the folks over on our Planet Dolan subreddit for submitting their stories. We have another question for you. What's the craziest thing your ex has ever done? Let us know in the Reddit page linked below, and you might be featured in a future countdown. Catch you guys next time.